Hello, dear viewers. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on local time. You're watching your English news broadcast live on Eri-TV. I'm Zahra Badouri, and these are your major headlines. Cabinet of Ministers holds meeting. Eritrea is exerting commendable efforts in health sector. Contribution to Agumet Martyrs Trust. Big jump in African tourists. Poland to become EU hub for US gas. Welcome back. The Eritrean Cabinet of Ministers held a regular meeting today, July 7, at the State House here in the capital. The Cabinet of Ministers heard the activities being undertaken by the Ministry of Local Government pertaining to the reshaping the zonal administrations as well as the charted out development projects. Following the report by the Ministry of Local Government, the Cabinet of Ministers stressed on the significance of targeted efforts for the implementation of development programs, nurturing work of culture and productivity, as well as prioritizing development projects. The Ministerial Cabinet also underlined that all activities in the development zones to be based on research and development, the culture of work and productivity. As regards the Ministry of Finance, the Cabinet of Ministers held the discussion on the process that is being taken to readjustment of the fiscal and monetary policies. The Ministerial Cabinet also conducted extensive discussion on the need to narrow the gaps between income and expenses, strengthening tax collection and control on revenue generation activities. It also discussed on the implementation of the regulation and guidelines, vice versa, their contribution in promoting the development endeavors. The Ministerial Cabinet also referred to the activities being taken by the ministry to increase revenue without affecting the development programs as well as the charted out activities of the ministry. The Ministerial Cabinet further called for developing public awareness following bank procedures and gradually developing the activities of banks. In connection with the referred to organizational chart of the Ministry of Education and the Commission of the Higher Education, as well as the outcome of the national schools leaving exams of 2017. The Cabinet of Ministers, based on the efforts to develop human resources, the Ministry of Effort to ensure equitable educational opportunity to all citizens, strengthening vocational education as well as ensuring the capacity of students and teachers, and on the future strategic plan. It also discussed on the process to reverse the educational system in the preschools, elementary and junior schools, vocational and technical education, as well as in the higher education institution. It also recommended that to identify the positive sides on shortcomings of teachers and students in all levels of education. The Ministerial Cabinet concluded its one-day meeting by conducting extensive discussion on the presentation of President Isaias Afwerki regarding the current regional and global development, as well as on the Eritrean government's stance on the prevailing developments. A UN delegation that is on a working visit to Eritrea commented that Eritrea is exerting commendable effort in the health sector in a bid to achieve the lasting development goals. The comment was made by Mr. John Jing, Director of Operations, Coordination and Response at the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. During his visit today to the health and education facilities in Sarajagha subzone, accompanied by Mrs. Amina Noor Hussein, Minister of Health. After observing the health and educational services being provided in the Gashnisham Health Center and Mbadorho Junior High School, Mr. John expressed appreciation on the effort that Eritrea is exerting in the sector of health on the bias of self-reliance and in partnership with regional and global stockholders. He also said that the practical achievement that Eritrea is registering motivates for further strong cooperation. In the course of his visit, Mr. John has met with different Eritrean governments officials aimed at strengthening the existing relations between Eritrean government and the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. The Taxi Owners Association and Eritrean nationals residing in Israel contributed 360,000 nakfa and $3,000 respectively to Argument Martyrs Trust. According to reports, the Taxi Owners Association has been supporting 30 families of martyrs, and that of 360,000 nakfa is in support of additional 30 families of martyrs.